Hello everyone, my name is Anastasia Saf and welcome to my channel where I'm going to share lots of strategies and techniques, free resources, different methods, and practical advice on how to take your music skills to the next level to step up your game in music production and mixing. In my previous video / part 1, I explained why transcribing songs is crucial to your growth as a music producer, got into details, and disclosed all of the benefits you can get out of it. Now I'm going to show you how I actually do it in the DAW. Please consider subscribing to the channel and joining our music production community. I would highly appreciate your support. Quick tip before you start. Don't be lazy and make notes along the process. Trust me, you'll need them. I love using MacBook Notes. You can use whatever you're more comfortable with. Microsoft Word or even a real notebook. I write down anything I find useful or helpful in order to transcribe better and, most importantly, to learn from it efficiently. Even the most ridiculous things. It can be music production or mixing tricks and techniques. How you managed to get there, what was useful along the way, what plugins did the best job. You get the idea. I work in Logic. Feel free to use any DAW. And for this example, I'm using New Sky by Rufus Du Sol. I'm a huge fan of their music, and I enjoy doing this exercise with the songs I like the most. In my previous video, I emphasized that the best results are achieved with the songs we truly enjoy listening. Once you've decided with your track of choice, check its BPM. Then the key. Set the correct BPM of the reference track before you drag it in your DAW to avoid unnecessary warping. At least I prefer to do it this way. The next step is setting the markers, dividing song into sections. This way you're learning the structure of the song: intro, verse, chorus, bridge, etc. So have a listen through and set the markers. Then I would extract vocals from the song. If you have access to the plugins that are capable of doing that, I would recommend taking this step into consideration. One of them is RX by Isotope. If you don't have any similar plugins, that is just fine, and skipping this step won't make this exercise less effective. So I've got my Acapella here. Now I'm going to do a listen through and identify all the possible instruments and sounds I hear in the song. I usually create a few software instruments and audio tracks and give them the appropriate name. You can use pre-made template for that matter. For example, there's always going to be a drum bass, a synth bass, and so on. So you have an idea of what your palette of instruments will look like. Just for this demo, I've done the 90% of work on this track. But for better results, I highly suggest working out the entire song. So I've got all these instruments here. It's time to start building the skeleton of arrangement. I like to create empty MIDI regions that I will fill with melodies, chords, and samples later. It's good to have a visual representation of arrangement, some kind of a sketch. At this point, you can start working on the selection of sounds and samples. You don't have to recreate the exact same sounds you hear in the song, but it's great to get as close as possible and step up your sound design game. Same with samples. This way you train your ears to hear what sounds match together the best. Develop a sense of taste that will help you in your own future productions. When you get to this point, always A/B the original track with the production you do to recreate your version. Watch out the volume. Always balance it out with every element you add. Now drag in the samples. I prefer to start with the drums. Also doing some light mixing and sound design, shaping the tone and giving texture. Chords and melodies. Start transcribing chords and melodies. You can do it by ear. Get a MIDI keyboard and start playing melodies and chords you hear in the song. I find this option more convenient for myself. You also can use musical typing on your keyboard. If it's difficult for you to do it by ear, there are other ways. Check the chords of the song online and have them as a cheat sheet. Start building basic triads, so later you can extend the chords and flip them the way they are played in the song. Flex pitch in Logic or third-party plugins such as Melodyne can detect chords and melodies. The accuracy isn't 100%, so make sure you adjust the notes pitch and rhythm by yourself later. Quantize them and work out the right velocity if needed. I recommend combining all those options and see what works best for you. Don't forget to analyze the relationship between all those melodies and chords from a music theory perspective. Break down the chord progression, the top line that's layered with a bass line, the rhythm of the drum elements. Reverse engineer everything you can. When it comes to electronic music, like in this example, I like to mix a bit along the process. Also, feel free to mix after you're done with the entire arrangement. So it's time to start digging the plugins. Don't forget about the sends, reverb, delay, effects, anything you think you might need to have on an aux. Add some automation, finish mixing, and get started with mastering. Once you're done with mastering, voila, you did it! If you got to the end, I'm proud of you. And I'm actually curious to hear what you guys came up with and how you managed to work out the entire production, sound design, mixing, and mastering for the song you picked. Share your links in the comments so I can have a listen and maybe even give some feedback. A few other useful advice. You need to know this. If you hear a certain sound, a synth patch, a production or mixing technique, write it down whether you know how to recreate it or not. Make notes. If you're familiar with some of those, get them down right away. If you know what it sounds like, but have no idea what the trick that's been used is called, write down some keywords. You'll use them in the search tab when you go look for it on YouTube, Google, Reddit, etc. I promise. What you need eventually will pop up. Don't forget to ask a fellow producer friend or any help online. There are a lot of nice people out there that don't hesitate to share their knowledge and provide a helping hand. Don't get stuck with one thing if you cannot figure it out. Move forward to the next task and get back at it later. You don't want to get discouraged in the early stage. Always keep making moves. Good news, now that you're done with transcribing your track of choice, you can also remix it or make a cover out of it. Get creative, make your own version. But most importantly, you just got one step closer to your dream production. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this video was insightful and helpful, and if it was, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss another one, because I'll be sharing a lot of cool stuff here. We'll catch up in my next video. Goodbye!